Hello everybody, my name is Pravus, and welcome back to more Plague Inc. Evolved custom scenarios. Before the naysayers get in here, yes, I know I'm very late in a Valheim video, I'm sorry. Just haven't had the time. But the good news is, Plague Inc. is still fun, so let's go back into the workshop. I did see a relatively new scenario pop up, which seemed kind of interesting, called the Gygax virus. Let's see, there it is by the other side night, though I could have sworn that it had a description. Maybe there is a duplicate on here somewhere. That's been happening a lot lately with the workshop, I'm finding. Yep, there it is right there, and sure enough, it has a description. Lots of duplicates and lots of situations where I subscribe, and then it tells me that it doesn't exist anymore, but it clearly did. Very weird. Anyway, newest release with fixes to speed and starting pop. Note, play on brutal. Okay, I can do that. Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. You know, that's a very good quote. I do like that one. With genetic engineering over-progressing and governments around the world relaxing their regulations on research and testing into the matter, who knows what could happen? I like that. That's good. Well, one Tolkien fan and D&D player knows exactly what. Gary, a genius with dice and books, has gotten his hands on one of the first CRISPR kits, a genetic engineering tool, and he is near the ends of his life. He will use the tool to try and turn himself into the first real-life elf, so he may live forever. However, old age comes shaky hands, and oh no, Gary dropped the vial. Gosh dang it, Gary. Now that the fantasy virus is out in the world, you must help it grow and thrive. Will you use it to establish a new world of elves, orcs, angels, and demons? Maybe Esamir? Or the man-flayer consume humanity? Praise Pravus. It's a bit of a stretch as far as the premise goes, but you gotta appreciate the effort, so let's give it a go. Metabolic jump, Darwinist, oxide, streamophile, and transstasis all seem completely fine. He said play on brutal, or I don't know, someone said play on brutal, so we're doing that. The Gygax plague. Now what is Gygax supposed to be? Is this like a D&D reference I'm not familiar with? You're a new Nurex worm. To win, you must evolve and spread across the world. All right, where do we think people play D&D? You know what? They played in Australia. I have no idea if that's true, but we're gonna go for Australia. It's a terrible starting location, but who knows? Let's have fun with it. Transmission, nerds! As a legend, Gary is patient zero, and he constantly goes out and plays D&D or gives talks on the matter. He accidentally just spreads the disease. Don't trust nerds. That's the lesson we're taking out of this one. Oh, God. Nerds! What else we got? Pets. Nerds having very few friends, true. Tend to take comfort in spending time with their pets. Extended contact with the Gygax plague to jump to pets. Makes sense. And nerds, too. Nerds being communal. Yeah, they don't have very many friends, but those they do have, oh, they won't let out of their sight. In nature, spread the disease further as they form new groups or sell/buy books tainted by the Gygax plague. Also learning, never go to your local D&D store and buy a used manual. Got it. Seems fine. Symptoms, what else we got? Well, we have cerebral tendrils, the death path. Plague becomes sentient and begins calling itself the true mind flayer as it extends its tentacles across the host's brain. Could be fun, but maybe we go for a different route and see if we get something a bit more complex. Horns! Alright, so we're going to create some tieflings, I guess. Glowing aura. Infected doctors begin manifesting a glowing aura which temporarily blinds themselves and others. Man, that must be horrible. You look down at yourself, or you look at yourself in the mirror, and you're blind for a few seconds. What a curse. Pointed ears. A pointy elvish princeling. More muscle mass. All right, I'm guessing this is orcs. This is going to be elves, this is angels, and this is demons. That's going to be my guess here. Abilities. We have our standard cold heat and genetic hardening. Interesting. I was going to say drug resistance, but this is genetic hardening, no drug resistance. Fascinating. Does that mean that the wealthy countries are already more susceptible to the power of the D&D? That would actually make some sense, given that I don't think that they have a lot of time to play D&D in some of the places like, I don't know, some of the poorer sections of Africa, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's really popular down there. I guess I've never actually checked. Nerd rage! Getting into passionate arguments about their hobbies leads them to get into heated arguments, causing them to breath excessively, spreading the disease more. A bunch of mouth breathers, is that what you're saying? This is cruel to nerds. This is actually really cruel to nerds. Let's go for the pets. That's gonna lead to birds. Oh good, carry across the world. Also fish. You know, I could really use some way to get off of Australia. I really should not have started here, but we did. Slow start, gonna get a terrible score. It's okay, as long as I get a terrible score on my terms, I can live with it. We also have fish 2, expanding from rivers to oceans. Doesn't really get me any, like, meaningful amount of infectivity and stuff. Rodents, however, pretty good. You know, Australia is considered urban. I don't know if this infects urban stuff, but we'll go for it. We're just gonna go for the raw infectivity. Anything to get me the heck off of Australia. This place is a death trap. An absolute death trap, and I would love to visit someday. Please, someone sponsor me to go down to Australia. Anyway, what else do we want to do? Well, we could get some serious severity, but most of these do not really give any meaningful boost in infectivity. More muscle mass does. Make the nerds strong? Oh god, we know where that goes. Do we? Actually, wait. I feel like there's probably some sort of a TV show premise. I don't know. Maybe it was like American Dad or something dumb like that. But what happens when you give them their kind of fantasy character and muscle mass and stuff? And there you go. Let's go for the nerd rage, and then we can go for saliva as they start spitting. Oh god. You can imagine just the nerds just around the table.
Well, actually, you should have just used your egos to get over, but then you wouldn't have had the experience of the journey.
I'm actually consider myself somewhat to be a nerd myself, okay? So it's okay for me to make fun of my own kind. So the Mind Flayers did sort of begin. All right, Mind Flayers. You know, that reminds me, I really need to go play some Baldur's Gate 3 sometime soon. I played it a little bit on a stream with some patrons a while back. It was really, really good, but it was still in early access and it wasn't quite done. I know it's still in early access, but it's looking really, really promising. I'm not usually that huge in the D&D universe specifically, but, I mean, I might make an exception for that one. We're going to want things like cold resistance, which apparently invents the concept of cold resistance in RPGs. Oh, good. We've invented the Northerlings, or the Northerners, or the Nords? Well, I've also been playing Skyrim lately. Sorry, that just gets in my head. What else we got going on here? We can go for probably some llamas? Llamas? Nerds begin purchasing llamas and riding them around. Llamas continue to spit on people. You know, it does tie into saliva. Kind of works. Now that we're getting onto the landmass, let's actually go for some birds, though. I do think that this would be very helpful. Spread the disease further. Also, let's get some air transmission. Just kind of spread a little bit faster across, the land borders and whatnot, right? That seems pretty good. Trojan planes are going to be a thing. Okay, I probably could use those to get into Greenland. How do the nerds travel this much? I don't usually think of nerds as a very travel-y bunch, but apparently in this case they are. Nonetheless, off to Greenland we go. I can imagine the nerds going to Japan. That I believe. Let's get some more air transmission. It's pretty darn infective, it turns out. Nerds like using planes. Good enough for me. We'll take it. I'm trying to think of jokes that I can make that aren't unbelievably mean-spirited to nerds. I mean, they really get crapped on so much, but they kind of set themselves up for it sometimes. I mean, okay, here's my opinion when it comes to the nerddom, right? Everything you can enjoy pretty much whatever you want. It's fine. But once you make it kind of like your identity, like this is the thing you are like identified by, at some point it just becomes kind of cringe, right? You know, people who are like way too into Magic the Gathering, for example, that's like all they live for. It is a little cringe. Harry Potter is fun, but if all you wish is that you could be a member of a Harry Potter universe, it gets to be a little cringe, you know? That's kind of what I mean. So nerds, they kind of set themselves up by not having a balanced life. Otherwise, enjoy your friggin' one, I don't care. It's fine. You like D&D? Go play D&D. Dude, I admire the people who can actually have the patience to sit around and play tabletop games. Let's go for some cold resistance there. We also get, let's see, we got halos for free. So we got angels on the way. Do we want to go for some wings? These are very minor stat upgrades, I'll say, by the way. Note that we're getting, like, practically no infectivity and severity from some of these. But overall, they're adding up, and I think it's kind of working because the author did make a lot of these sort of cheap. So it's not the worst. Even though they have bad stat upgrades, you end up getting a lot of things because they're cheap. It evens out, is what I'm trying to say. It evens out a little bit. Let's go for the pointy ears. We can have extended lifespan. I'm just trying to get some more severity and stuff. We'll also get the violent tendencies of the orcish. There we go. That's actually not fair. In the latest editions of D&D, I'm pretty sure that certain races can no longer be considered to be more violent or evil than others, right? Pretty sure that was actually a change that they made. What are we missing? We're just missing pieces of Africa. Let's go over to West Africa. We're missing a few other places in Eastern Europe. Okay, Africa and Eastern Europe apparently can't get into Tolkien or D&D. Which, you know what? That's just sad. What else do we want to go for? Well, I guess we should go for some genetic hardening. I mean, they have been working on this cure fairly aggressively. Let's push that back a little bit. We could go for the llamas and stuff. I think I'll go for the fish instead. That leads to outright water transmission, which, you know, again, might be good. It's costing me very little here. Only 6 DNA, then 8 DNA. That's a pretty big boost. I think we'll go ahead and take that. Fair bit of customization going on in this scenario. Let's not forget that there actually has been quite a bit rearranged over here. It's rather impressive. Let's go to Morocco. Morocco usually is a little bit slow to get infected, given that it has no port of any kind. And how are we doing in the rest of this? Looks like we need Turkey to get on board, a couple places in Africa, and then, the Baltic states. All right. So the question is, do we start going hardcore on some sort of a transformative victory that's not the death path? As much as I think Mind Flayers are freaking awesome, I don't know if we want to do that. Angels? I don't really know if I like the idea of making everyone angels. But the problem is the demons are so violent. Oh, God. I just noticed the cure is, like, going freaking nuts. Okay, it's time to start killing people. Demons! Unleash your inner demons! What else do we want here? Improved dexterity, sure. I'm just looking to see if there's like any sort of victory condition we're missing here. Saber-toothed orcs. Okay, the orcs rise. Down with puny humans and elves. Leads to orcs and elves achieve peace, which reduces lethality. Okay, it just mutated. The orcs and the elves have discovered peace. Okay, I'm slightly disappointed by that. What else we got here? First Fantasy Empire. A half-elf, half-orc emperor is voted into power as chancellor. Emperor? You mean as chancellor and then becomes emperor? The Galactic Republic shall be reorganized. You get the point. Proclaims the first elven empire. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. There is an emperor, but first started as a chancellor, then proclaimed an empire after an assassination attempt. It's 100% a Star Wars reference. I wasn't even going for that. It just sort of happened. All right, we're actually kind of doomed. The cure went freaking fast, dude. Jeez. Let's go for a quick genetic reshuffle. That resets it slightly. But no, we did not make nearly enough progress. Okay, you know, I wasn't expecting brutal difficulty to actually be sort of hard, but it is. Let's not start in Australia this time. We'll just go ahead and go for Saudi Arabia. Why not? I'm gonna focus a bit more on transmissions this time. Good lord, this goes fast. Oh my gosh. Haven't managed to get into every country at this point, and I got the genetic hardening super early and focused on a ton of transmission, and it's not enough. Look at this thing go. Jeez, dude. Okay, hang on. We're gonna have to buy some genetic reshuffles, of course, saving up some points and desperately trying to fend this off and buy myself some time to actually get into every country. Oh gosh darn it. Killing very fast. I don't see how that's possible given how low the lethality is at this point. Look at that. People really don't like D&D. All right, so we got some peace achieved for somebody, but I can't get enough points to actually finish any of this off. Fascinating. Yeah, even on, oh, wait. What? Why is the cure going down? Wait a minute. Because we achieved peace, is it going away? Well, I have no idea what's happening anymore. I am very confused. It seems like we just hit the reverse pedal on the cure progress. The whole world has decided to embrace it after all. Amazing. Okay. Oh, this is why. Okay. An ironic curse to those who threw away morals for science to get to this point. The infected only speak, read, and write Inferni. All research stops. We fully embraced our demon form. Okay. Unexpected turn of events is unexpected. Let's go for wings. We could go for angels, I suppose, and eliminate all lethality at this point. We're still trying to infect the world. The problem is now we're going to be relying on kind of bubbles and not much else, a mutation chance to carry me to victory. This is going to be a very, very slow way to win the game, but it technically can work. Corrupted angels. Angels and Inferni are discovered to be biologically compatible with each other, ending all hostilities between the two groups. Why do I feel like there's some sort of an anime or other premise involved in that? And not like Devil May Cry, is it? Is there an angel and demon thing going on there? I know there's obviously like the Nephilim from Diablo. I get Diablo 3. I get that premise entirely, but still. Okay, so this leads to half human, half angel. Inferni and angels both cease to exist. Instead, half angel and half demon peoples have taken their place in the next step of evolution. Wow, so all their progenitors just died off and immediately moved on to the next generation. That's amazing. First Fantasy Empire, yeah, so we need to get both of those somehow. All right, well, let's just sit back and wait. All we can do is sit back and wait at this point. There's nothing else I can do. I mean, the whole world's been infected. Nobody's dying, though, so we're all just waiting for the next step of evolution. It's like X-Men. Every few millennia, humanity takes the next step forward, right? Same concept. You guys just now got disturbing reports that everyone has turned into either orcs, elves, demons, or angels? Gosh, you guys are like so out of the loop. What is wrong with you people? Oh, we got cerebral tendrils. Well, we actually could just get the mind flayers, I suppose. It could all end up being for naught. Everyone might just die. Although supposedly from the angels there is no lethality, so I don't know anymore. We got the first Fantasy Empire. One more step toward victory, my friends. People are dying again. Oh, good. Turns out the angels aren't enough. And now we can buy the half demon, half angel. This leads to a new fantasy world. You did it. Earth is now a fantasy world controlled by you, the DM. The Fantasy Empire fights the Blurst lands in a forever war, and humans go extinct. Win conditio. Is that like a bad Harry Potter spell? I don't know. 33 points. So either I'm waiting on mutation or just a lot more orange bubbles. Whee! Oh, good. We mutated it. Thank God. You know, I really wish I had gotten the trait that lets me get DNA from blue bubbles. That would have made my life a lot easier. Morocco begins to break down. What? On our evening of triumph? I don't know. All right, well, goody. We've enslaved humanity by the DM. Orc elves and infernal angels are going to wipe out humanity in an eternal war. Wow. Okay. That got a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's a great amount of customization, some pretty awesome creativity involved in this. I certainly like what the author is going for. Definitely gets a little weird that you have to pick up the infernal speech or else you're basically just dead to the cure. There's kind of no way around that. And then kind of weird that, well, I mean, it just gets really, really, really slow at some point. But, I mean, we technically won. So I'll work with it. I overall think it's actually a pretty fun little scenario. It's a little wacky, it's a little silly, but I think it's pretty good. Just the timing of it, the pacing, left a little bit to be desired. Nonetheless, though, thank you for sending it my way. And thank you all for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.